electronic channels. So it is the second lecture of services marketing, and hopefully the last one. So let's see what we will learn in this chapter. First of all, overview of the chapter. What are we gonna learn in this chapter? Number one is the distribution in a services context. Number two, determining type of contact, options for service delivery, and then place and time decisions, and then delivering services in cyberspace. Then the role of intermediaries, then the challenges of distribution in large domestic markets, and finally distributing services internationally. Okay, first of all, we have to understand what actually is distribution. If we see the definition of distribution, then we come to know that it is defined as the way in which something is shared out among a group or spread over an area. So basically it's a service or a product or something that is being shared between the group or spread over an area. Like we are sitting in a classroom, we want to give the lecture notes to all the students. That's called the distribution, that there is a group of students in one classroom and we have to distribute the lecture notes to them. So it is being spread in an area. Area is that classroom or the group is made of the students in which we have to do the distribution. So the way in which something is shared out among the group or spread over an area, it is called distribution. Now, what is distribution in a service context? Because this chapter is basically the distribution in the physical and digital way. So what is the distribution in a service context? Because we are understanding this chapter in a services context. Number one, in a services context, we often don't move physical products. Why he's saying this? Because when we talk about the services, they are not tangible, they are intangible commodities. Like if we go to a barber shop, we get their services, or we get his services or her services, not some physical product he's offering us. Like for example, we go to a grocery store to buy some packet of oil or a soap or something like that. That is a product that has a physical existence, that is a tangible commodity. But in terms of services, it is not a tangible commodity, it's intangible commodity, and it doesn't have a physical appearance. So in a services context, we often don't move physical products. Okay, then experiences, performances, and solutions are not being physically shipped and stored. Obviously these are not some tangible commodities, so that they cannot physically shipped and stored, because we have to take experience, performances based on the services we get. It has no physical existence. Number three, more and more informational transactions are conducted through electronic and not physical channels. Then applying the flow models of distribution to services. What are the flow models and how they are being applied on distribution to services? Okay, distribution embraces three interrelated elements. What are the three interrelated elements? Number one is the information and promotion flow. What is information and promotion flow? To get customer interested in buying the service. How will customer be interested in buying the service? When we will provide that customer with the information regarding our service, what we are offering, and how our service is better than others, and what are the features, what are the benefits the customer is going to get when he or she or they avail our services. It's something that we are promoting our service. So the first step here is information and promotion flow, how we provide information to our customers and how we promote our services to the customers. Then next stage comes the negotiation flow. What is the negotiation flow? To sell the right to use a service. Okay, now we are offering some service, then we are giving our customers the right to use our service. And then third one is the product flow. What is the product flow? To develop a network of local sites. It's basically a networking that we create. Okay, next, distinguishing between distribution of supplementary and core services. What is the distinguishing factors between distribution of supplementary and core services? Distribution relates to both core services and supplementary services. How? There are some core services and then there are some supplementary services. For example, if I go to a salon and I have to have a haircut, that is the core service I get. At the finishing of my core services, after getting my haircut, the barber, he or she provides me with some extra services, with some supplementary services. For example, let's say they say that we offer you a massage, we provide you with skin cleansing, we give you some other services like that, that are called the supplementary services. Okay, core services for people processing and possession. Processing services require physical locations. Then core services for mental stimulus processing and information processing can be distributed electronically. Number three, supplementary services can be tangible or intangible in nature. So the core products, the core services is intangible, but he says here that the supplementary services can be tangible or intangible in nature. I can give you an example of that. For example, uh, in in a very reputed large salons, if we consider in any country, where the salons who are made for some elite class, they offer you with supplementary services. Like for example, if you go for haircut or if you go for some beard trimming, they offer you certain type of balms or the creams or the products including gel, something like that, in small sampling size packaging as as a complete as a supplementary services, but that has the tangibility because that is a product. Sometimes it can be in product form and sometimes it can be intangible in service form. For a like they can say that they, if you get the basic treatment, then you get something that they offer you to make you realize that you are valued customers to them. Latter can be distributed widely and cost effectively via non-physical channels, telephone or the internet. So this is also uh, can be a service. Like they can contact you about your experience via telephone, or they can contact you via internet about your experiences and how you feel, to make it to make the feeling for you that you are being privileged. Okay, next is the information and physical processes of augmented service product. What is this? On the one side, it is the information process, while on the second side, it is the physical processes. First of all, is the information. So with the core, you get the information, payment, billing, exception, safekeeping, hospitality, order taking, consultation. So these are all related to the physical processes as well as the information process, and they are interlinked. Now, using websites for service delivery. Here with the core, we see again information, consultation, order taking, hospitality, safekeeping, expectation, exceptions, billing, and payment. Now we see what actually they contain. For example, in information, read brochure or the FAQ. Every website, when you see, there are some brochures that are given for your information, or the fact section that is giving you the recent questions about the products, or the frequent asked questions about certain type of products, or the queries. And then the schedules or the directions to go towards that. Like nowadays, many websites that has some physical stores, they have their Google map option in that, or the simple map options in their websites. And then the check prices are also given in some websites regarding the products or the services. Then the consultation, conduct email dialogue, use expert systems. And then order taking, makes / confirm reservations, submit applications, order goods, check status. So when you use some website or some other portal and you have to order about some product or the service, you can make the reservations or the confirm your reservations, and then you can submit your applications or order goods and then check the status of your order. And the hospitality, record preferences, and then safekeeping, track package movements, check repair status. Like you have each steps record available. And then the exceptions, make special request, resolve problems. For example, uh, if you are buying something online service or the product, you can alter it according to your requirement, or you can also ask them to resolve your problems regarding that service or the product. And then the billing, receive bill, make auction bid, check account status, then payment, pay by bank card, debit, direct debit, whatever the options you have. Okay, now the distribution options for serving customers. What are the distribution of options for serving the customers? Customers visit service sites. First of all, customers visit service sites. What is this? Convenience of service factory locations and operational schedules important when customer has to be physical present. Like if someone goes to some place, some factory, some store, then he or she is physical, their preference. So then the then it is important to address them accordingly. Service providers go to customers. Now the service providers go to customers how? Unavoidable when object of service is immovable, and more expensive and time consuming for service providers. Then service transaction is conducted remotely, achieved with help of logistics and telecommunications. Obviously, telecommunications and logistics departments both are involved when you are going to go for online services for related to your purchase of services or the products. Now, what are the 6 options for service delivery? Number 1, type of interaction between customer and service organization. Availability of services outlet is single site and the multiple sites. It can be at one place or it can be at different places. Then second, customer goes to service organization, theater, barber shop, as I gave the example before. Then in multiple sites can be the bus service. Obviously, bus services are multiple places in even one cities and in different cities. Then the fast food chains. Obviously, in fast food chains, we have branches of international or the global food chains, even local food chains at different places in our cities or across the country. Service organization comes to customer. How? House painting. House painting is some type of services that you order the service providers that they can come to your place and they can offer you the services. And then mobile car wash. Nowadays, people are offering mobile car wash facility that they come to your place to wash your cars. And in multiple sites, it is mail delivery, like the courier services, the delivery, the post services that you get. Customer and service organization transact remotely, email or electronic communications. How? In single site, it is through the credit card company, local TV station, but in multiple sites, it is broadcast network or the telephone company. Okay, now the challenge preferences vary among customers. How? For complex and high perceived risk services, people tend to rely on personal channels. Why? Because the services they are providing are more of something that is of risk. So people, instead of relying on the third parties or the outsourcing some services, they provide they prefer to have their own personal channels. And secondly, individuals with greater confidence and knowledge about a service or channel tend to use impersonal and self-service channels. Third, customers with social motives tend to use personal channel. Number four, convenience is a key driver of channel choice. Now, what are the places of service delivery? Cost, productivity, and access to labor are key determinants to locating a service facility. Obviously, everyone is cost conscious, and then the productivity, how productive is that, and the access to labor, like where they can easily access the labor, are the key determinants to locating a service facility. Okay, locational constraints, operational requirements. What are the operational requirements? It may be like the example is airports, geographic factors like ski resorts, and then the need for economies of scale is the hospitals. Then mini stores creating many small service factories to maximize geographic coverage. Like they can make different little stores and at different places so that geographically they can cover all the customers, like automated kiosks, and then separating front and back stages of operation like Taco Bell. Then locating in multi-purpose facilities, like proximity to where customers live or work. It can be the service station or service perspectives in figure 4.2, that can be at the places near to customers residence or the place where they work. Now it is very important that what time frame does the service delivery offer, because nowadays people are very concerned about the time frame that is being offered by the people who are providing the services. So what is the time of service delivery? Traditionally, schedules were restricted. Service availability limited to daytime, 40 to 50 hours a week. Sunday historically considered as a rest day. In Christian tradition, Saturday in Jewish tradition, and Friday in Muslim tradition. Then today, what is today's? For flexible, responsive service operations is 24/7 services, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, around the world. Service perspectives 4.3 in figure. So what happened now that people are obviously considering the traditional factors, but they are also making it sure that the customers can get the 24/7 services, like whenever they want the services they want to get, they can be offered those services no matter what day, what time is it. Some organizations still avoid 7-day operations, but he says that there are some organizations they still avoid 7-day operations. For example, Atlanta based Chick-fil-A, what does it have? That being closed on Sunday is part of our value proposition. They say that if they don't work on the 7th day and they take the Sunday off, they think that this is a part of their value proposition, because they care about their business, because they care about their employees, and they are concerned for their rest and their day off. Then what is the delivery services in cyberspace? Now, technological innovations, as we see that every passing era, every passing year, every passing month, there are new technological advancements, there are new technological innovation, and with those technological innovations, there are a lot of changes that are being witnessed in business world or in almost every sector of the world. Now, what are the technological innovations when we talk about the services marketing, like services service providers, that development of smart mobile telephones and PDAs, as well as Wi-Fi high-speed internet technology that links users to internet from almost everywhere, anywhere. So it happened that they with the passage of time, the mobile phones, smart mobile phones, they developed, and then the PDAs as well as the Wi-Fi first initiated, and now people are going to the high-speed internet technology. The purpose for that is that all the people can be connected, all the people, all the businesses, all the customers can be connected one or the other way, so that people can go for maximum audiences to address to. Then the voice recognition technology, websites, smart cards. Smart cards are those with stored detailed information about customer, act as electronic purse containing digital money. Like many big stores are offering the cards or the membership cards. And specifically, I witnessed it in China that the stores are offering you with the membership card. You can get their membership card, and you can add money to that card, and you can add your points at the time of every purchasing in that card. And at some time there are different offers against that money or against that points, that you can utilize your points to buy some product extra without paying any money, only with the help of those points. So these are the services, these are the advancements that are being done. Then increase accessibility of services and deliver right information or interaction at right time. Then create and maintain up-to-date real-time information. Then e-commerce move to cyberspace. What is that? Internet facilitates 5 categories of flow. What are the 5 categories of flow that internet facilitates? Number 1, information, negotiation, service, transactions, promotion. As we discussed earlier, that you can get the information, then the negotiation about your product, and then the service you get, and then the transactions, like in terms of money or whatever it is, and then you can promote your product or your service. Electronic channels offer complement alternative to traditional physical channels. And then the convenience is 24-hour availability, save time and save effort. Then ease of obtaining information online and searching for desired items. Then better prices than in any brick and mortar stores. Like when you go to some store, maybe you can get your services or the products higher in prices, but when you are doing your shopping online, then you can get your desired services or the products in better prices, in cheap prices. Then the broad selection. Then recent developments link websites, customer management systems, or the customer relationship management, and mobile technology. Integrating mobile devices into the service delivery infrastructure can be used as means to why this is being used: access services, alert customers to opportunities and the problems, and the update information in real time. Then C, online versus brick and mortar stores. Now, splitting responsibilities for supplementary service elements. How? As created by originating firm plus and enhanced by distributor is equal to as experienced by the customer. Like two different type of, like your core product and the supplementary services you offer is combinedly comes what the total experience and benefits customer get out of your services, out of your products. So it is very important when you select what core products and supplementary services you are offering, because it is going to impact on your customers, and on the basis of their experiences with your services and the products, they are going to decide that whether they are staying with you as your long term customers, or whether they need to shift to your competitors. Then challenges for original supplier. What are the challenges for original suppliers? That act as guardian of overall process, and they ensure that each element offered by intermediaries fits overall service concept. Now, what is the role of intermediaries or the mediators? So it is very important to see the role of intermediaries or the mediators in the whole process. Franchising. Franchising is a concept very well known almost all around the world. And we have seen the examples of free franchising in almost every sector of the world. Like for example, if we see telecom industry, we see there are different franchises being offered to the investors. Like for example, if a telecom company or the sim providers, they want to open their own franchise in in some area, then they will be interested for the people resident of that area to willingly cooperate with them, that they can offer their place and their services uh, to that company in order to provide services or the products to that particular customers of that area. So what they do, that there are different terms when the contract is being done in terms of franchising. Normally what is common in our countries is like the 40-60 percentage that is being shared. So the private investors can go for franchising. Like for example, I gave the example of telecom, and the same is the case with the hospitals, and same is the case with the schools, colleges, universities, and same is the case with other businesses like food chains or anything else. Even this happens not only in the countrywide scenarios, but also the international and the global brands do the same. Now, what are the popular way to expand delivery of effective service concepts? Franchising is a fast growth strategy. When we talk about the strategy, that how to expand your delivery of your products or the services effectively, what is the strategy? The franchising is the fast growth strategy when resources are limited. When franchises is being done, then when resources are limited, like the core company does not have much resources to open their own stores everywhere. So what they do, that they go for the franchising strategy. They go for the private investors to collaborate with them in order to go for the franchising. Then the long-term commitment of store managers is crucial. Obviously, a very important factor, that the long-term commitment of store managers is very crucial. So the local knowledge is also important. How? How? Because if you don't have the local knowledge or the knowledge about the people, about the culture of that particular area where you are going to go for the franchising strategy, the chances of your success are minimum, as you don't know the psychology of the people, the psychology of your customers, like their tendency to buy the products and services you are offering, whether it exists or not. It is very important to know about that, and if you don't know, then the chances of failure are much higher. So it is very important that you should have the local knowledge of that particular area, or of that particular market, or of that particular city, or that particular province, or that particular country. Then the fast growth is necessary to preempt competition. Obviously the fast growth is very necessary in that, because your competitors are also going with same kind of strategies. So if you want to have if you want to have success over them, then you have to consider this factor so that you can successfully run your business. Study shows significant attrition rate among franchisors in the early years of a new franchise system. Number one third of all systems fail within first 4 years. 3/4 of all franchisors cease to exist after 12 years. Why? Because of the factors we mentioned earlier, that they do not consider those factors seriously. So the chances of the elimination of those franchises are higher, are in, let's say, in 10 years or the 12 years, that franchisors have to cease their activities. Why? Because they do not consider all the factors carefully that is required to go for successful franchising strategy. Then franchisor provides training, equipment, and sport marketing activities. Franchisees invest time and finance and follow copy and media guidelines of franchisors. Now, why it is saying there here that franchisor provides training, equipment, and sport marketing services? That why? Because the main or the core company who is offering their franchises to those who are willing to take those franchises are basically responsible to provide the training, because the persons who are willing to take the franchises are not expert in that area. So they need proper training, they need proper equipment, and they need sport marketing activities. Why? Because the core company better knows what they are doing, how they are doing, and how they are planning to do in future, and how they can attract their customers, and how they can train or tell their employees to work the way they are already doing. While the franchisees who are willing or who are taking that particular franchise, they invest time and finance, because as I told that they pay against the royalty of certain businesses when they are getting the franchise, either it's a chain of an education institution or the telecom sector or any other food chain, something like that. So they invest time on that. Why? Because they go and work there, and then they also see the finance to run that franchise and follow copy and media guidelines of franchisers. Why they have to follow and copy the media guidelines? Because the core company know how they are attracting their customers and how they have to do their media and media activities, not the franchises. So basically it is centralized system that is being run by the core company, and the franchisees, they have to follow the instructions by the company. Now, what are the advantages of franchising? Expand delivery of effective service concepts without a high level of monetary investment. For sure, this is what we are talking about, that the burden is being splitted. The core company now do not need to bear all the costs and all the uh, funding required, because there are different investments, there are different franchises who are going to share their burden in terms of finance, in terms of their services. Secondly, franchisees are motivated to ensure good customer service and high quality service operations. Why? Because the franchisees have invested in that franchise, they have spent a lot of money in that, and so that's the source of income for them, where they have to understand the factor that they have to provide good customer services and high quality service operations, because they are now acting as the face of the company. So the customers who are not satisfied or has any dissonance after purchase, they are going to ask them that why they are not providing the product or the services properly. So they have to make sure that their customers get the products or the services as per their requirements that is fulfilling their satisfaction. Now, if we see there are some advantages of franchising, then there is definitely some disadvantages of franchising as well. So what are the disadvantages of the franchising? Number one, some loss of control over delivery system. It can be the disadvantage because the way you are providing your delivery system is not necessary that the your franchisee is offering with the same responsibility, and thereby over how customers experience actual service. Effective quality control is important, yes, yet difficult. So you, when you are offering some product or the services by your side, then you have to make sure that you check all the quality measures for that certain product and the services. But when you are franchising, it is difficult for you to maintain the quality control on each of your franchises, because now you have partners who you are working with. Then there is conflict between franchises may arise, especially as they gain experiences. It is very important. How is it very important? For example, if I talk about the food industry, then there is one factor. For example, I am taking the franchise of a very famous brand, something like, for example, if I'm taking the franchise of McDonald's or KFC or some other food chain, I am working with them as a franchisee, and then after 5 years, 7 years, I know the recipe, I know the system, how they run their own business. Now I have all the expertise, I have links, I have customer relations, I have the staff who can cook the way they want. So now I have covered all the aspects. Then maybe after 5 to 7 years, I may be thinking that why should I split my earning with the parent company, and why shouldn't I go for my own business? Why shouldn't I do something that I can best do now, as I have customers, as I have linked, as I have resources, as I have people who can cook the way they are doing. So this problem arises after some time, after a certain period of time, that the people, the franchisees, they tend to think that they should start their own work instead of splitting their earning with some other company. Okay, then there is alternative. What is the alternative? License another supplier to act on the original supplier's behalf to deliver core product, for example. Now there are some alternatives. What are the alternatives? License another supplier to act on the original supplier's behalf to deliver core product, for example, trucking companies, banks selling insurance products. Like banks ask others, or the licensed companies or authorize other companies that they can sell insurance products on their behalf. So in most of the banks, they are collaborated with different insurance companies in order to provide the insurance services to the customer, and in return what they are doing is that they offering the insurance company personnel space in their bank. So what they do, that they on different terms make the partner in certain business activities. So it is a different type of approach that is alternative and can be opted. Now There are some challenge of distribution in large domestic markets. In distribution, distributing in large domestic markets is a bit difficult than the small markets. In large domestic markets, you have to consider a lot of factors that can be uh, of much importance for you. Look, here is the Dunkin' Donuts, a very famous brand that is being operated in almost every country around the world. Dunkin' brand distributes its branded service concepts through franchises. What they are doing, that they are offering franchisee services. Whenever Dunkin' Donuts goes to another company, other places, so they offer the franchising services. Like people can be investors and they can offer their place and they can offer their finances in order to work with the Dunkin' Donuts. So Dunkin's brand, Dunkin' Donuts, coffee and baked goods, Baskin Robbins ice cream, Toggos sandwiches. So these are some different brands of Dunkin' Donuts and the different products being offered by this company. Now, the challenge of distribution in large domestic markets. What are the challenges of distribution in large domestic markets? That marketing services, that is physical logistics, face challenges due to why? Marketing services including physical logistics, obviously you have to make sure that you have to provide services from one place to another place. So you face different challenges in that. How or why what are the reasons that you face these type of challenges? Is the distances involved, like geographical areas. For example, if we are living in a small city, then it is not difficult for the service providers to provide the customers or the people with the home delivery services, because the area is not of much distance and people can travel in small areas easily. The cost is lower. Why? Because they can use either bicycle or a motorcycle. But when we talk about the big cities, then it is difficult to travel, and different type of factors involved in that. Obviously, one is the geographical areas that we are talking about. The other factors can be the weather factors or the circumstances or the traffic factors. So there are many factors that being involved in that. Then the existence of multiple time zones. Existing of multiple time zones is also a very big problem, not countries like us, but in countries where within the countries there is uh, time changes in different regions. And then the third one is that multiculturalism. It is very, very, very important that when you are working in a large domestic market, you have to address with the people, with the customers that have different cultural norms, that has different cultural values. So you have to consider all the people's culture and you have to act accordingly. You have to provide your service accordingly, that you have to make them realize, or you have to show them that you are taking care of their cultural norms. You have to taking care of their cultural values, and their cultural values are very important for you, especially uh, especially immigrants and indigenous peoples in different in different culturalism is a bit challenge for the companies when they are working in a places that has multicultural peoples or the consumers. Then differences in laws and tax rates, very important factors, because when you are going to the large domestic markets, for example, if we talk about the US market, then we come to know that the law across each state changes. So when the law against each state changes, then it is difficult for the companies to manage as per the law or the tax rates, because there are also tax rates that vary from state to state. Like the states like New York or something, like big states, they have different tax rates from the states like Texas or others. I say they can vary in their laws and in their taxes rate. So when companies go for the larger domestic markets, they have to consider all these factors, and it is definitely big challenging for them, because they have to work according to those laws, and they have to adjust their value, their core services according to those laws, and then the tax rates obviously that applies on them are are varying across the state. So when they are setting the prices of the services or the products, they have to consider this factor that their tax rates are varying in that area. So it is a bit challenging for them. Either they should go with those prices they are offering all across, or they should add up some prices to their products or their services. So here, large US companies counter this by what? Targeting specific market segments, seeking out narrow market niches. What is niche market? Niche market is a group of people who are small in number, and whose choices regarding different products are uh, services are very selective. So the companies, there are many companies who are doing their businesses for niche marketing market. For example, if we talk about the Apple company, then we come to know that Apple basically works in niche market. How every single person is not an Apple user. Why? Because the products they are offering, the services they are offering, not everyone can afford them. Only a certain type of people who who think that it is the status symbol for them, they can go for uh, that product or the services. And same as with the brand, clothing brand like called Hermes, like not every person is willing to pay for the purse or the other leather products much expensive that they can get in the market. So Hermes basically also position themselves for the niche market, and same is the case with when we talk about Ferrari, when we talk about Lamborghini, and when we talk about some luxury cars like this or the sports car like this. And then then serving multiple segments across a huge geographic area is biggest marketing challenge for them. Okay, now how service processes affect international market entry? It is difficult to go for the international market entry. Why? Because every country there are different types of rules, there are different type of policies, there are different kind of laws, and the people over there have different mentality from the people you're already working. So there are certain processes that affect international market entry. What are those processes? Then people processing services require direct contact with customers. So it is very important that the people who are processing service requires direct contact with the customers. Then the export service concept. What is export service context? Acting alone or in partnership with local suppliers, for example chain restaurants, hotels, car rental firms. And then import customers, inviting customers from overseas to firm's home country. For example, hospitals catering to medical tourism. Then the third one is transport customers to new locations, like passenger transportation, air, sea, rail, road. So these are different processes that affect international market entry. Then possession processing involves services to customers' physical possessions. For example, repair and maintenance and freight transportation. Then information-based services include mental processing services and information processing services. How number one, export the service to a local service factory. Example is Hollywood film shown around the world, and then import customers, and then export the information via telecommunications and transform it locally. Data can be downloaded via CDs or DVDs. This is also a form of it, or the example of it. Now the factors favoring adoption of transactional strategies. What are the factors that are favoring adoption of transnational strategies? Competition drivers. Very important factor that the competition, the urge to compete in the market makes you to go for the transnational strategies. So the number one here is the competitors from overseas, independence of countries. Secondly, firms may be obliged to follow competitors into new markets to protect own positions elsewhere. So the competition obviously motivates them to go for transnational strategies. Then the technology drivers. Technology drivers are also very important these days because due to the technological advancements, people are going for the transnational strategies. They, when they cover their own market, they think that they should go for the different countries, and then they should go for the adoption of transnational strategies and provide their services or their products to the other markets as well. So here that advances in information technology, miniaturization, mobility of equipment, and digitization of voice. Then there are cost drivers. Obviously there are cost drivers like the economies of scale and low operating costs. These are very important functions, are the very important factors. For example, when we are considering the Chinese market, why the most of the countries are getting their products or the services done by the Chinese, because the cost of the products or the services they are getting from there is much cheaper than other regions in the world. So the government drivers are also very important when you are going to another national country, another country, or the going for the transnational strategies. Then you have to consider that what are the policies made by the government. Either they are supporting the foreign companies to come into their country and do their business, or they are not. So it is very important that what government is offering to the companies to come and operate businesses in their country. So favorable trade policies, compatible technical standards, common marketing regulations. So they are the common government drivers that impact on the adoption of transnational strategies. Now, modes of internationalization. What can be the modes of internationalization? Here, number one is the export information based services. What are export information based services? Transmit via electronic channels. So we are talking about electronic channels almost in every aspect, almost in every field, that it is nowadays becoming more easy for the companies to provide their services or the products through the electronic channels. So export information based services that are transmit via electronic channels, and then the store in physical media, ship as merchandise. Okay, there are different stores who have their physical uh, existence, like brick and mortar stores. What they do is that they ship their products to different countries, to different people, consumers or the customers all around the globe. They offer their services that from any place around the world, if a customer places some order, they make sure that they deliver that product or the services to their customers, and then use third parties to market or deliver service concept. How? Or the what are the main key actors in that area? So the licensing agents, brokers, franchising, alliance partners, minority joint ventures are different actors that can be cooperated with in order to deal with the customers around the globe. Or if you are going to the internationalization, then you can work with them like the like collaborate with them in order to capture that particular market. Then control service enterprise abroad. So in that, their direct investment in new business, like some people are doing businesses in other countries. For example, if I talk about Pakistan, here there is a company from the European countries, is the Rocket Corporation, uh, that is investing in Pakistan, and that is running most of the online stores or the online websites in Pakistan, until the big online service provider giant Alibaba took over or the purchase that whole business. So these type of activities, as you being the direct investors in particular businesses in other countries, is being done. Buyout of existing businesses is same is the case as I give you the example that the Rocket Corporation was operating that particular online shopping websites, but then what did Alibaba did? The Alibaba group bought that particular shopping website, and now they are running uh, that uh, that shopping website, and they have added some features in that website that to make feel the customers that they are privileged. For them, what they have done is that they give you the offer on that particular website, that if you ask them for certain type of product, if it is available in Pakistan, they offer in Pakistan. Otherwise, they have mentioned there that they can deliver this from China. That's all for today. Thank you. And any question, you are welcome to ask.
Okay, everyone. If there's any question, you can ask. We give 3 minutes for sesi question.
Any question from anyone in the class, you are welcome to ask.
Okay, Amalia, Bobby, Udin, Iqbal, Riham, Maulidi, Nadia, Naila, you can ask. Okay, thank you for this lecture. There's no question. Can we close our meeting today?
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you so much. So I think that's the end of session for today.
Sorry, sir.
I'm saying that then that's the end of today's session.
Yes, sir. And we will see you in the next meeting for the information.
Sorry.
We will see you on the next meeting on the entrepreneurship course.
Yes, yes, obviously, for sure. Inshallah.
So we very thank you much for this lecturing, sir. And I will end